In a world dominated by millennial and Gen Z social media influencers, there's a young man who's rewriting the rules of old money, elegance, and wealth. Meet Hugh Grosvenor, the 7th Duke of Westminster, who's not just any millennial, he's one with more money in his pockets than even King Charles himself. But that's not all. This man is famous for hiding his riches from the government. Wanna know how? Well, let's get into it. It all began on January 29, 1991. When Hugh Grosvenor entered a world of extraordinary privilege. He was born into the esteemed Grosvenor family, one of Britain's most storied aristocratic lineages. But what sets the Grosvenors apart is not just their ancient history, but their unparalleled social and financial influence that's been woven into British society for over a millennium. You see, Hugh made some unique choices in his early years that set him on a remarkable path. Instead of heading to fancy institutions like Oxford or Cambridge, he opted for good old Newcastle University. Little did he know that these choices were like puzzle pieces coming together to shape his future as the Duke of Westminster. Now you might wonder why a young guy from such a distinguished family didn't follow the typical aristocratic route of attending Oxford or Cambridge. Well, it all goes back to the Grosvenor family's deep-rooted involvement in agriculture. Hugh's family is a big deal, worth billions, and they have the incredible Grosvenor estate. This estate covers swanky parts of London like Mayfair and Belgravia and is divided into 3 powerful portfolios, with the Grosvenor Group alone managing an impressive 11.8 billion euros in assets. In 2016, Hugh's world was turned upside down when his father, the 6th Duke of Westminster, passed away at the age of 64. Suddenly, Hugh became the 7th Duke of Westminster and took the reins of the family's astonishing 9 billion euro estate. Now, that's a lot of responsibilities for a young guy, but he was up to the challenge. You see, the Grosvenors have a clever way to protect their money from the pesky British inheritance tax system, which can be quite a downer. They use trusts to keep their assets safe from the tax collector's reach. Some people thought this was a bit tricky, especially because it seemed like inheritance tax was a choice for the super rich like the Grosvenors. But the family argued that their trusts were all about keeping ownership in the family, a tradition that goes way back. So here's Hugh Grosvenor, the new Duke, leading the Grosvenor Group, a huge international real estate business. It's not just about fancy London neighborhoods. They own properties all over the world, like Vancouver, Tokyo, Hong Kong, San Francisco, and several European cities. It's not your usual real estate business. They invest in all kinds of interesting things. They've put money into agri-tech startups and sustainable food ventures, like the Jackfruit Company, which makes meat alternatives from jackfruit, and Perfresh, a company that's all about keeping produce fresh during transport. What's even more interesting is that Hugh Grosvenor isn't afraid to break away from the traditional ways of his ancestors. He's all about embracing the new while still respecting tradition. It's like he's the modern-day Duke who's adapting and evolving with the times, a symbol of how even ancient empires can keep up with the changing world. Now you might be wondering why we don't see Hugh Grosvenor showing off his wealth on Instagram or going live on TikTok like many other millennials and Gen Zers. Well, that's because Hugh is quite different from those who can't resist the urge to share every moment of their lives on social media. He's all about achieving goals and making a real impact. But here's the twist. His immense wealth and the family's extensive property holdings became a symbol of the economic differences in the UK. Some people thought it was a bit questionable, especially with the Paradise Papers revealing some financial tactics used by the Grosvenor family. These controversies stirred the pot and had people calling for changes to address inherited wealth advantages and social inequality. However, it's important to note that many believe Hugh Grosvenor isn't just another rich aristocrat taking advantage of the system. Now, let's talk about the future. Hugh Grosvenor is one of the richest people in the UK, and he's in good favor with the royal family. But he's not your typical aristocrat. He's tech-savvy and forward-thinking, perfectly in line with his generation. His charitable work, especially as the chair of the trustees for the Westminster Foundation, shows that he's not just about fixing up estates, he's about giving British nobility a makeover. All in all, Hugh Grosvenor, the 7th Duke of Westminster, is more than just a wealthy nobleman. He's a symbol of the changing face of aristocracy in a world that's calling for change. His contemporary approach challenges stereotypes and could transform the image of British nobility. Despite the controversies, his charitable efforts and adaptability make him a symbol of a dynamic and forward-thinking aristocracy.